one, for Professor, Dr. Director Tamang. Yes. There's as Mr. Yongting Zai mentioned a while ago, the DOE I observed does not have a clear direction on how on IPIRA. You mentioned that you have plans of amending IPIRA, but we are not quite sure really on which provisions you plan to amend, and you do, okay. So I'm from WESM, and we have not been appealing, or we haven't looked at some of your post amendments so far, and and the directions or the directives of the DOE should be somehow clearly aligned or realigned with the ERC, because if you're talking about short-term power alleviation mechanisms or measures, because definitely that's not WESM. I mean, for the Visayas, it's not. We were opting for VISAA, but then the ERC it took them 1 year to approve it, and so on. And now the ERC is pushing for PISO, which is a shortcut for open access and retail competition. And so, those, I am just suggesting that the EOE should somehow take the lead in really studying and considering the implications of such actions, and make sure that, and another is the fuel procurement policy.
The question is?
The question, sir?
The question is, yeah.
Is the DOE really serious in the IPIRA and in the privatization and restructuring of the power sector? And is it doing its job?
Yes, we are serious. As we said earlier, what we want is to ensure that the required energy in whatever form is received by anyone in the country. And there are many amendments we believe that we can submit for IPIRA, but this may not be the forum. But I believe your office is coming first and actually forming part of the review process. With respect to DOE and IPIRA and ERC, the way I'll put it, I'd rather see ERC making decisions based on policies prepared and submitted and issued by DOE, not just, well, remove the not just, sorry.
Provided by
Your name, please?
Bert de Lusong.
Yeah.
My good friend Oli Serafik identified me as a consultant. It is wearing that hat that I came to be here. So let's say I am a consultant for the energy sector. I appreciate the information, and let me just quote one of the statements here made by Engineer Mendiola. Regulatory uncertainties, timing, and reasonableness of approvals. We were just discussing ERC and DOE. I think you hit the nail on the head, sir, when you cited this major factor that led to the power supply problem. And yet, it is a factor that is practically never discussed. If you look at all the solutions here, a lot of the solutions are palliative in a way. But really what we want is for the power plants to be built on time, of the right mix, least cost. This is not happening, sir. You've hit the nail on the head here. And I suggest that this is something that the DOE and everyone, all the stakeholders, look into. Because if the private sector is timid in investment, are we surprised when we have regulatory uncertainties, timing, and reasonableness of approvals? It's good that all of the decisions of the ERC are available on their website, and we can review clearly if they are in fact doing their job, as one of the earlier participants said. So thank you very much for this observation. So it's something that I think the sector should look at in more detail.
Okay, well, just to provide additional information on that. That is the position of the energy family. In fact, DOE was very much on top of this when all of the energy sector have identified what are really causing these problems right now. Why are we having these problems? What went wrong? And one of that was really the rates. So I think things will be led to be acted along that line.
After May 10.
Yeah.
After May 10. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, please.
This is for Mr. Mendiola. I just want to get your opinion.
Your name is?
Rodson Pedro from Quezon Power. Remember, I think recently ERC issued a resolution increasing the installed capacity of the sun to 11,200 megawatts. I would like just to get your opinion regarding that. Does that reconcile with NPC's outlook? Do we really have 11,200 megawatts in Luzon?
Well, basically, we have about 15,000 megawatt of installed capacity. Of course, not all of them are in place or operating at a certain given time, because you have to factor in maintenance schedules. You have to factor in certain force outages. You have to also factor in some transmission limitations, hydro limitations. So, more or less, given the 15,000 megawatts, the normal capacity that is available is more or less about 10,000 megawatts. So more or less it's near that figure.
Next question. Bert? Bert Posadas of Video.
Robert Posadas of Video Mail. And this question is directed to Mr. David Montaigne. What are the conditions or scale of economy to put up a biomass power plant, so to speak, and also can it be done by cooperatives?
Well, I think there are some regulatory issues if a cooperative actually invests in the power. Bert Allison would be able to answer that better than I. I can speak for our own requirements, if you like. We have very strict ones, especially as we're just beginning in the Philippines. Number one, we place ourselves in the heart of an agricultural area with very high productivity. Number two, we're very close to a major provincial road for logistics. And with our first 3 power plant sites that we've purchased, you can see the transmission lines. That's not the same for everybody everywhere in the world. That's just some of the very basic ones for ourselves.
And last question is, what's the minimum environmental impact of a biomass energy plant?
I'm not sure what you mean by the minimal, but may I suggest some of... Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's